The truth about Peroxide, is it overhyped? For those that don't know, Peroxide is a new Bleach game that's going to be releasing very soon, and there are a ton of misconceptions about it which I want to go over. If I'm being honest here, you yourself probably think something about Peroxide that's just straight up not true. And there's also just been a bunch of opinions and drama on Peroxide right now, so I want to talk about what I personally think. So let's get straight into it. I also want to mention that I'm giving away a Peroxide tester spot on my Twitch if you're interested in that. Link in the description. So first I want to talk about the thing that everybody is complaining about and that you've probably heard a million times, and that's the combat in Peroxide. Generally, most people I've seen talk about Peroxide don't enjoy the combat or just don't think it's good in general, but there definitely are exceptions. And the two biggest problems I've seen people have with the combat is very janky, and also the lack of evasives and the long combos in the game. And they did just make an update to deal with the long combos, but we'll see how effective that actually is. But in terms of the first complaint, which is the jankiness, what does this actually mean? I seen Dahmer's video where he was genuinely confused by what they meant by this, and if I had to take my best guess, it's the fact that you have insane movement speed and flash depth and then zero movement speed outside of it, and it kind of makes it awkward. And this insane movement of speed you get for a few seconds and then having no speed at all for a few seconds just makes the combat feel janky, is how I would put it too. But that's just a guess. I could definitely be wrong by what they were thinking, but either way, I believe that's a problem and why I don't personally enjoy the combat as much as some people do. But to be honest, I think a big reason a lot of people don't like the combat is people just don't like hit stun. They prefer combat like Type Soul where you can constantly fight back. And I myself would be one of those people to also agree with this. Like I said before, there's a lot of reasons Peroxide is going to do really good and a lot of things I think people will enjoy in it, but I don't think combat is going to be widely accepted like it is in other games. That is, unless they make very major changes to their combat, which is, let's be real here, very unlikely. Even if all the changes they recently made and continue to make are good, I really don't think it's gonna make a lot of people that don't like the combat like the combat. I think it needs a complete overhaul if they want it to be like that. But now I want to talk about the biggest lie that I'm really not sure where people got it from, but that's the fact that there's a ton of content in Peroxide, which is really not. I was told there's a ton of content in this game, and I kept assuming, damn, it's probably an endgame, it's probably endgame content, but that just doesn't really seem to be the case anymore. When I finally got to endgame on my first slot, I was literally asking my Twitch chat, yo, where is the content everybody was talking about? Where is it? Everyone kept telling me there was content. So what is the reality of the situation in terms of content in Peroxide? Well, if I'm being honest and not just hyping up the game here, it's definitely above average for a Bleach game, but it's not that significant like people are acting like it is. It's definitely a bit more than Type Soul in my opinion, but the difference is the grind in this game does not take as long as it does in Type Soul. And I don't mean to say that as a negative. It's definitely a good thing that the grind is not as long as a game like Type Soul, but I'm just letting you know that you're not going to be on the game as long as that per slot. Now, the main benefit of this is you're able to have multiple slots. A lot of people on Type Soul didn't even complete their first one. Compared to on this game, you can have multiple, no problem. What I really mean is no problem if you actually enjoy the progression. Because like I said, most people aren't going to be playing the game for the combat, so it needs good progression to compensate. Now, y'all already know I'm going to keep it honest with y'all and keep it real. For me personally, I did not enjoy the progression. Y'all could see it. I streamed all of my progression. But to put it in context, I don't enjoy majority of Roblox progression. So overall, I'd say the Peroxide progression is about average. But for me, what made it even worse is just the fact that I don't enjoy the combat. And in general, I believe most people on Roblox will enjoy the progression a lot more than I did personally. But I still want to talk about all the problems I had with it and why I personally didn't like it. For those that haven't actually played the game, there's two main ways to progress, and one of them is through just quest boards, which are pretty much just kill this many hollows, kill this specific hollow, go deliver this package, go deliver this package farther than you just delivered that. And it's kind of disguised in a way to make you think you're doing more than just one of the same thing, but you're practically doing the same thing every time. Or maybe a better way to put it is all of these variety of quests were all equally boring to me. Now, the other method to progress is invasions. Invasions are based on faction. For example, if you're a Quincy, you would go to Soul Society and steal something or kill this many guards, and then you have to wait at a retreating spot where you guys will all get TP'd back. And although I feel like they put a lot more effort into this, at least compared to like the mission board quest, it still just doesn't feel that exciting to me personally. I want to sit here and say, damn, because of the effort, it was better, but it really just didn't feel exciting to me personally. Maybe it will to y'all though, but I definitely still encourage you guys to try it out. That's just my opinion on what I experienced myself. But the main thing I was thinking while I was doing all this progression is, damn, at least the endgame content will hopefully be fun. And I thought there was a lot more content than there was, but in reality, once you get your Bonkai or Volt standing or a Segunda, all there is just PvP, just like all the other games. It's either rank PvP or go do raids, which are, I believe, called something else. No, they are called raids. And normally normally this wouldn't be an issue if you enjoy the combat, but for me, I don't enjoy the combat, so I'm not really trying to go and play ranked PvP. It's just not that fun to me. But I believe the ranked PvP also gives drops, so that's a good encouragement, which I think a lot of people will definitely do. And with everything I've still been saying, Peroxide is by no means close to the worst Bleach game, and in fact, I think it will be the most popular Bleach game by far. I even made a whole video on that, but essentially what I mean is the game has all of the things that your average Roblox player will like. Like if I was 13, got home from school and hopped on Peroxide and got some cool Shikai or Bonkai, I think it would be pretty cool. It also has incentives for pretty much everything in the game. It has things to grind for. And by that I also mean for Roblox standards, it's very little pay to win. The game is relatively balanced where legendaries don't give you an insane incentive, but at the same time, if you do want one regardless, you can grind for one. It's definitely possible to do it free to play. Not only is there an AFK area which gives you 1 per hour if you have premium and 1 per 2 hours if you don't. Product Essence is also a drop chance, and Product Essence allows you to redeem anything in the game. And you can't not mention the graphics in this game. In my opinion, the graphics are really good, but I definitely have seen a lot of people actually hate them and think Type Soul graphics are better. But either way, they're definitely flashy, and I think majority of people will enjoy them. So even with all the bad that I personally experienced, I think the good for most players will outweigh that, and the game is going to do very well. I'm expecting at least 50k minimum, if not 100k. I'm actually curious how many players you guys think the game will have on release. You gotta remember there's also nothing else to play on Roblox really, so that just already is going to give it a lot of players. And that includes myself because it's the best stream content, and that's why I'm also giving away a tester slot over there if y'all want to pull up. Either way, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Later.
Life. There's Roblox.